What's up guys, QHA3 Austin here, and welcome back to part 4 of Let's Play Hulk. So, last time we rescued Betty Ross from Madman, and this time we are going to have to create an antidote for the gamma-suppressing sedatives in Bruce's bloodstream. So this is a stealth mission, and as I said at the end of last part, it's got a different sort of gimmick to it. So, you see me, well, obviously you know which one I am, and you see me passing in plain sight of these guys. So, you can pass in plain sight of them, you just can't get too close, because apparently somehow they can see through your mask and know who you are if you get too close. First of all, here's a universal code input, not gonna use it. So we have two different directions we can go here. We can either go left or right. This time we're going to go left to start with. You're going to see me going into first person mode quite a bit because, you know, this, even though you can pass in plain sight, this level's still pretty challenging because the hallways are so narrow. So you can very easily run into, you know, and yes, even these scientists, if they see you, they'll throw their own punches.
Until I get a matching series.
Alright. Oh, come on. Why does the one have to be all the way over there? And then 3. And then 2. Okay, good.
That's done.
Alright, that wasn't so bad, after all. Yeah, so we're gonna have to do 4 of those puzzles in this level. That's only the first one. So we have the first chemical, and yeah, the hallways are pretty narrow, and the camera angle kind of sucks. I'm gonna risk it here. Alright, cool, we're good. The hallways are narrow, and, you know, the camera angles, you kind of have to watch where you're going. You see 2 scientists walking, I have to really quickly time when I'm gonna move, because if you if you're going when, you know, when those 2 scientists are kind of in the middle of the hallway together, I find that pretty much one of them is gonna see you no matter what, and all of the doors will lock, and they'll all, you know, they'll all surround you and beat you to death. And you notice continues 4, but I haven't died. I noticed that anytime you like quit out of the game or whatever, or like go back to the menu, it seems that all the continues you've picked up are gone. That sucks. I actually didn't know that before.
I've got to move the pairs of symbols until I get a matching series.
And also I didn't talk about that Eric Bana, who played Bruce Banner in the movie, actually came back for this game.
That's out of the way.
And, you know, I always found it weird how in those parts, he says series as like series. Well, that must be because Eric Bana's Australian doing an American accent. So I can understand that. You know, if I were to do an Australian accent, which I'm no good at, so I'm not going to do it here, I'm sure I wouldn't pronounce everything correct either. Okay. And also another thing about first-person mode is that you can't actually play the game in first person. That would be really cool if you could, but you can only look around. That's it. So anyways, I wait until the one guard, you know, goes back the way we're going here, and then I just hook around to the left and stay away from him. Oh, and let's say I get caught here. Oh, hello, camera. Alright. Let's say I get caught in this room. All the doors will lock, and I'm gonna die. I've got to go back and get both chemicals all over again. Do that whole thing I just did all over again. But thankfully, we don't have to do that.
Level Delta 4, Formulation Labs.
To move forward, I've got to counteract this sedative.
Now you can see on the sides of the screen, it's sort of like a rainbow, like a drug effect. Yeah, I always found it weird how they included that. It's like you know that the sedatives are really working on him. And you also see 4 of these motherfuckers here. It's always a bitch to dodge these guys, I find. But just kind of stay in the middle and they'll sort of part away from you. And then you can go in the middle of them. Alright, now this one room is gonna be... It sort of a bitch, but not... Like, it shouldn't be a bitch, but it kind of is.
Attention, this is General Riker. We have an intruder within the base. He's a civilian. Stop all unfamiliar personnel and report them to the security authority. That is all.
Okay, so the tank in the middle of the area will occasionally, it'll, do its force field thing. That has nothing to do with, you know, with you, doing your thing and walking around. That is just completely random. But it still sucks because if it gets you... Now, I don't know what happens if it... I mean, obviously it'll hurt you, but I don't know if it, like, activates the enemies to, like, you know, start going after you. But anyways, that we just did there, combined the 2 chemicals. So now the antidote is basically made. And now what we need to do is, first we're gonna wait for this to, activate. So we have a fresh start. And now we're going to, go to the next room and put the chemical into the injector. And notice the developers were really nice here. In case you did get caught, they gave you a lot of health. A lot of the objects in this room, like on the perimeter, I noticed that those are sort of from the movie.
Got to move the pairs of symbols until I get a matching series.
Like I said before, I can't really remember the movie that much, but I remember that certain, like, objects and, like, shapes are kind of taken from that.
That's done.
And somehow, magically, an injector appears.
Drugs they gave me are effective. I'm feeling weak and disoriented. Like I've gone 10 rounds. I need to find an antidote if I hope to escape the base.
I like to stay to the right over here. And I can't move the camera left anymore, which sucks. The camera kind of gets stuck in that hallway for some reason. And I'm pretty sure a dialogue from General Riker didn't play there.
I need to get back to Alcatraz and put an end to the efforts of this leader.
I always found that line so hokey, and put an end to the efforts of this leader. Spear point. Now cured of the gamma-depleting sedatives, you must escape Desert Base. Keep heading upwards until you reach the surface. The military will use every weapon they have to stop your escape and recapture their specimen. Alright, so we are now the Hulk again, and that's good, because now we can actually wreak havoc on these guys. Except they all have these fucking shock shields. That sucks. So you notice at the end of that mission, it was weird, because he has the, injector thing to put it in his body or whatever, and for some reason he waited until he got to the elevator before putting it in. I don't know why. Because, the whole point of that level was so that we could get rid of these, gamma-depleting sedatives and become the Hulk again. So, why he waited, like that one hallway, if he had gotten captured in there and couldn't become Hulk, I mean, speaking as far as the story, not so much, my gameplay, but, how could he know when, the jig would be up, So I just found it weird that he, wouldn't take it immediately when he could. That he waited until he got back to the elevator. Not that it's a big deal, but just something I noticed. Yeah, so, do you remember last part when I said that the closest match to Hulk were the Gamma Mutants? Yeah, I was wrong on that. I want to correct that now. These things, these super soldier mech whatever things, are definitely closer to a match for the Hulk than the Gamma Mutants. These things are kind of a bitch. I mean, not so much right now since we're only fighting 2 of them, but later in the level, we're going to have to fight, I think, about 6 of these things all at once. That sucks. Okay, so this elevator ride doesn't end until you defeat all the enemies. And if you knock an enemy off the thing, it'll just reappear. Like, it'll somehow just come up from the, come from the ceiling or whatever. It's weird. But this really isn't the kind of level where you can just, skip the enemies. You can't really skip the enemies here. You have to fight them all because there's certain rooms, like, the elevator rooms, or at least the rooms where you, how do I put it? The rooms where, there's an elevator that's about to go up, you have to defeat all the enemies in that room before the elevator will go up. So, I'm actually gonna, take the time to kill enemies here, rather than just skipping them like I have been. It's like finally now the game picked up on the fact that you could just skip the enemies, and they actually did something to make sure that you can't. Oh, I hate this room. It's basically, there's these things, these pedestals or whatever, I guess you'd say, and each of them has a regular soldier working on it. And what you want to do is really quick, if you can, kill the regular soldiers who are controlling, the little computers. Because if you do that before they activate their super soldier, then that super soldier won't activate at all. Which is what you want. And I totally failed on that in this room since they all activated. But we've got another chance to show that off and what we can really do on that front in this room. Oh, please. I really hate these laser beams that they have. Oh, damn it. Wasn't quick enough. Oh, I really wasn't quick enough on any of these. I think maybe one of them didn't activate. You see this one that I'm right next to just, like, kind of... He's kind of moving, but he's just standing there, too. Not really fighting. Well, good thing he can't fight. Well, the only good thing about these laser beam things is that the enemies, if they run into them, will take a lot of damage, too. Let's see what happens. He only takes one hit to die. The one that, you know, didn't get activated. Okay, finally we can move on. And it looks like I'm gonna lose my rage mode before I can use it, unfortunately. Which would have really come in handy here with these damn shock shields. Come on, one of you. Oh, great, more. Damn you, I was trying to go for the guy to my south. Oh, wow. Looks like the objects can actually get through the shields. Maybe I did know that, but I wasn't, like, thinking of it before. Well, that's good to know. I want that health. There's not really that much to say anymore. Oh, so you might be wondering why I called this game Hulk. If you've seen my Let's Play of Spider-Man 2002, then you probably know why I called that Spider-Man 2002 rather than just Spider-Man, and that's because there were other games called Spider-Man, and I just didn't want to, you know, get people confused, in case they were wondering. But I was gonna call this game Hulk 2003, but I looked at a list of all Incredible Hulk games, and I found that this is the only one that's called Hulk, just Hulk. So I figured it probably would be pointless to, you know, put the 2003 in there, since there's no need to, you know, get rid of confusion. I don't know if you've been listening to the dialogue from General Riker either, but they are, he says that they're planting explosives or whatever. That's just basically these certain hallways that you see that are kind of in rubble and you can't go down them. It has nothing really to do with gameplay. It's just simply telling... It's a reason why there's certain hallways you can't go down. That's basically all it is. And I really hope I can get through this recording because, at the time of recording this, there is a really bad storm outside. Really windy. And I'm really hoping that my power doesn't go out. That would really suck. But at this point, it's basically just a bunch of mindless robot fighting. Alright, let's see if we can get a rage mode on them. Come on. More? Come on! I want to be done with this. Well, luckily it's only 2 this time, not 4. And you see, they just keep coming back. You don't kill them when you knock them off, they just somehow come back. Alright, I think it's only a couple more rooms, and then we're done. But yeah, let's take care of these guys. Even though we're done with the elevator sequences, I still want to, you know, kill everybody. I really hate that one move where he kind of like... I don't know how to describe it in words, but like, he just kind of, has his arms, like, together, and then he moves at you really fast and then spreads them out kind of like a bird. Alright, time for the shock shield guys. No, never mind. Time for regular guys. Oh, look at all these guys. You know, you can actually just stand right here and pick them all off with the shockwave move. I don't know what this is called. I'm just gonna call it Thunderclap. But you can actually pick them all off like this, just standing right here. Or maybe I could have just walked into the room and had them all taken care of for me. I didn't have to stand there. Oh well, it boosts morale. And it proves that I'm not a total coward at video games. I actually did something about it. Anyways, this is the last room. We have to do like 3 waves of these guys. I think this one is 4, and then I'm not sure, but I think they, the next 2 are 6 each. You know, when I was planning out levels to do for this part and how many I could get through, I thought that maybe this one would be shorter since it was only 2 levels, but turns out this might end up being the longest part yet. Alright, looks like this one is 5. Really hoping for rage mode. That would help. If we could lure them over to these barrels, that might hurt them, but then it could also hurt me. Yeah. Stupid thing. I have nothing to talk about at this point. I am absolutely out of things to say. It's a good game. What can I say? I did once own the Incredible Hulk for Xbox 360, the one based on the 2008 movie with Edward Norton. I did used to have that, but I think I got rid of it. And I do have the Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction for Xbox. Haven't played it in years, but I remember it being pretty fun. Not even close to anything like this game, but I remember it being pretty fun. But that's the end of the level. And we end the level in front of a door. Containment failure. Having reached the surface, one more obstacle remains. Gamma Base's energy shield. Find a way to the source of the shield's power. Destroy it and escape. Okay, so this door leads to the outside, and we will find out just what is on the outside next time. So, thank you for watching part 4. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in part 5. So until then, peace out.